watched my first episode, you already know my job at the Department of Corrections was an adventure from day one. But this particular story, this one, involves a blizzard, 3 drunk heroes, and a near-death level urge to pee. Not something you're going to find in the My First Job training manual. So grab your coffee, except maybe not. Don't, seriously. Because we're diving into one of the most chaotic travel days of my life. The day that redefines the concept of the worst commute. So, I grew up in Colorado. Yeah, I know snow. I can handle icy roads, black ice, whiteouts, all that fun stuff, but this was different. See, where I grew up, the roads were plowed and the cities had salt trucks, and I didn't have to worry about things like tire chains or studs. So before heading out for a trip to one of the corrections facilities on the other side of the Cascade Mountains, I thought I'll do everything I can to be prepared. I bought tire chains. I even checked that little book to make sure they fit my 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer. Not sure if the book lied or something went sideways in between, but I didn't quite know that yet. I threw the chains in my trunk, and I felt confident that I was ready to face any adverse weather and just kind of went on with my life. So the morning of the trip, I woke up at 3 a.m., made my coffee, packed my lunch, kissed my still sleeping boyfriend goodbye, and hit the road. The sky was dark, the air was crisp, and the mountains, my ultimate happy place, were calling. I love the mountains. Give me pine trees, crisp morning, mountain air over sand and sunscreen any day. But as I started climbing the pass, the first snowflakes started to fall. Flurries quickly turned into clumps. Clumps turned into whiteout, and I thought, no problem, I've got chains in the back. We are good. If there are ever any famous last words, those might actually fit the bill. By the time I reached the chain-up area, the snow was up to my ankles. The sky was this uniform, unsettling gray, creating kind of that atmosphere of unnatural dimness. I pulled over, grabbed my gloves, and with a sense of overconfidence, I started draping the chains over my tires, like the little sheet of instructions said. So you're supposed to roll forward a little, then latch the chains on tight. And it sounds easy enough on paper, but that's not exactly what happened. The moment I touched the lever to pull them tight, all I felt was resistance. No movement. Nothing was fitting. I pushed, I pulled, I cursed, I twisted, still nothing. My hands were already soaked and freezing at this point. Honestly, my feeling of confidence was melting faster than the snow underneath my boots. Then I noticed these 3 guys a few cars down, standing in front of a giant lifted truck, each one of them holding a beer. At this point, it was somewhere around 5 a.m. in a snowstorm. I made eye contact with one of them. He raised his can and yelled, "Need some help?" Now, under normal circumstances, asking for help from 3 drunk strangers was a terrible idea. But when you have 0 alternatives, you just take the lifeline that's offered. So they meandered over, set their beers down in the snow, and started working on my tires. I'm not kidding, these guys were drunk and laughing loudly and cutting up the whole time while trying to clip on my chains, and somehow they still managed to get 1 tire done. The other, no luck. So after 30 minutes of grunting and slipping and a lot of creative cursing, they looked at me and went, "Yeah, I don't think we can get this one on. I don't think they're the same size." And they were right. 1 chain actually turned out to be smaller than the other. So we all stared at it, me and 3 half-frozen guys, 2 sad mismatched chains, and I realized I was really going to just have to wing it. I thanked them for their effort, and they grabbed their beers, and we all went on our separate ways. I got back on the road thinking, okay, I've driven in worse, except I hadn't. This was also the first snow of the season. They hadn't even pulled out the snowplows to warm them up yet. The snow thickened, visibility dropped to near 0, and the road looked like a blank sheet of printer paper. But I was steady. 1 chain was better than none, and I took off slowly, creeping my way over the mountain. Then about halfway down the other side, I realized something kind of horrifying. That morning cup of coffee was a really bad idea. And drinking it all before I had even put my chains on was probably even worse. I had to pee really badly, and there was nothing. No gas stations, no rest stops, not even a shoulder to pull off onto. Just miles and miles of white nothingness, and one woman desperately trying not to lose her dignity. I sang loud to the radio in my car at full volume to distract myself. I just screamed lyrics I didn't even know. But when desperation hits, logic leaves, and I started to begin looking at objects in my car thinking, could that work? Eyeballing even the coffee cup in my cup holder. And just when I was about to surrender my pride to a coffee cup, I spotted a gas station. It was like the pearly gates of heaven opened up in the middle of a blizzard, and that bathroom I loved more than any other bathroom I've ever loved before or since. And it didn't even matter if the gas station was sketchy. When I finally made it to the facility, cold, tired, and spiritually drained, I realized that trip taught me more than just buy the right tire chains. It taught me that sometimes life's drunk guys, the people or situations that don't look like help, might be exactly what you need in that moment, and really good help can come from anywhere. It taught me that being prepared isn't just having the gear, but it's also knowing how to use it. And most importantly, it taught me that sometimes it's okay to laugh at yourself. Because those moments, the snowy mountains, the misfit chains, the sketchy gas stations, those are the ones that make the best stories later. So, if you take anything from this story, it's this. 1, always test your equipment before you need it. Don't judge your helpers because good help can come from anywhere. And most of all, limit your coffee before a long drive. If you enjoyed this little misadventure, please hit that like button, subscribe for more real life stories and leadership lessons from my time working in some very unexpected places. And share this with someone who's ever almost peed in a coffee cup. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.